For over 75 years, NATO has stood as the ultimate shield of Europe, not just as an alliance, but as a promise that no nation would ever stand alone again. At the heart of this promise stood one country, the United States, the strongest military power, the largest economy, and the ultimate guarantor of global security. For decades, this system worked. Wars were prevented, conflicts were controlled, and a fragile balance of power was maintained. But now, that balance is starting to break. Because for the first time in modern history, the United States itself is questioning NATO. And at the center of this shift is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has openly said that NATO is obsolete, that the United States is paying too much, and that Europe is not doing enough. But what happens if these words turn into action? Will NATO survive, or will it collapse, taking the current world order down with it? Imagine a world where Europe no longer has American protection, where Russia sees an opportunity, where China steps in, and where alliances begin to shift, not slowly, but suddenly. Because history has shown us one thing: power vacuums never stay empty. In a press interaction, Trump asked a simple question: can the United Kingdom defend itself against Russia without the United States? It sounded like a joke, but it wasn't, because behind that question was a brutal reality check. And the response? A laugh. Not confidence, not a clear answer, just a laugh. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. On paper, Europe looks powerful. Millions of soldiers, advanced weapons, strong economies. But reality is very different. These forces are divided. Different countries, different command systems, different political interests. No unified leadership, no single strategy. And in modern warfare, coordination is everything. Without coordination, even the strongest armies can fail. For decades, NATO has functioned as a system built around American power. The United States doesn't just contribute, it leads. It funds nearly 70% of NATO's defense budget. It provides advanced weapons, satellite intelligence, cyber capabilities, and most importantly, nuclear protection. Over 100,000 American troops are stationed across Europe, ready, trained, and equipped. This is not just support, this is dominance. Now think about this. Every major conflict in recent history, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, the United States never fought alone. NATO forces were always there, sharing the burden, providing troops, managing logistics, supporting operations. This made wars easier to sustain, faster to execute, and politically more acceptable. Now remove NATO from that equation. If the United States leaves NATO, everything changes. Europe loses its shield, but America also loses its reach. Because NATO is not just about defense, it's about global influence. Without NATO, America becomes more isolated, more burdened, and more vulnerable in long-term conflicts. Let's go back to where it all started. Europe was broken, cities destroyed, economies collapsed, millions dead. And in the East, the Soviet Union was rising, its influence spreading rapidly, taking control of Eastern Europe. The fear was real, that Western Europe could fall next. So NATO was created, a simple but powerful idea. Attack one, and you face all. This idea prevented war, not by fighting, but by creating fear. During the Cold War, this system held strong. The United States deployed nuclear weapons in Europe, built massive military bases, and created a defensive wall against Soviet expansion. This balance, known as deterrence, kept the world from collapsing into another global war. But over time, something changed. Europe became comfortable. Defense budgets were reduced. Armies became smaller, because there was always a belief: America will protect us. And slowly, dependence turned into reliance. After the Soviet Union collapsed, NATO didn't stop. It expanded, closer, and closer to Russia. For Russia, this felt like encirclement, like a threat, and threats create reactions. 2008, Georgia. 2014, Crimea. 2022, Ukraine. Each step, more aggressive than the last. Each move, a signal that Russia was no longer willing to tolerate NATO expansion. Today, something surprising is happening. Russia is increasing its military spending rapidly, while Europe is still trying to catch up. And more importantly, Russia operates under a single command. Europe does not. That difference could decide the outcome of a future conflict. And then comes the Arctic, a region once ignored, now becoming the center of future power. Under the ice, massive oil reserves, natural gas, rare minerals, and new shipping routes. Whoever controls the Arctic controls the future. Russia is already ahead. China is investing fast. America, still dependent on NATO allies. Without NATO, that advantage disappears. Headphone, China, strategic takeover. China, not through war, but through investment. Ports, railways, energy systems, billions of dollars flowing into Europe. If NATO weakens, China doesn't need to invade. It can influence, and influence is power. So now, everything comes down to one question. What happens next? Does NATO survive? Does America stay? Or are we witnessing the slow collapse of the most powerful alliance in history? Because if NATO falls, it won't just change Europe. It will change the world. Power will shift. Alliances will break. New leaders will rise. And the balance of power will be rewritten. The real question is, are we ready for that future?